Daddy, go in my poker.
Yeah, I am. Give us a kiss. Give us a kiss. Mwah, I love you so much, okay? Wish me luck.
Yeah.
Love you.
I want your phone.
I know you do. Welcome back to the vlog. I'm here with my boy Josh. We're now going to pick up our friend Hot Dog. So I'll see you when we get to Dusktildawn. Right guys, we're there. 2.5 hours, happy days, Dusktildawn in the background. You've seen this before, I think it was like the second vlog I ever did. I'm going to go win a WSOP ring to go along with this wedding ring. Maybe buy the missus something pretty. Right guys, we're playing some cards finally. It's been a while, it feels like it has. We've already played 40 minutes and absolutely nothing has happened. My neck's killing me, but we finally looked down at a premium ace king. Under the guns made it 600. The guy to my right calls, so I bump up to 2.5k, and the initial raiser does come along. The flop is 4-7-9 with 2 spades. I do have the ace of spades in my hand if we need an emergency backup. Obviously, we've got the betting lead already, so he checks. I bet 2,200, and he does make the call. The turn brings in a 10, offsuit 10, I think it's a 10 of clubs. Doesn't make much difference here, and it does quickly go check, check on the turn. The river brings the 9, which does bring in a 4-liner to the straight. He shouldn't really have many 8s here unless he's got pocket 8s specifically, but that should probably check raise this flop, and definitely bet the turn as well. So, yeah, I feel pretty safe here. He checks again, so I do bet 7k. He does think about it for a while, so I'm not sure if he's got some sort of smaller pocket pair. Maybe he's just got ace-9, something along those lines. But he does eventually fold, so it's good to get the first bluff of the day through. Right, on to the next hand, guys. We've already been moved to table, which is a little bit frustrating because you can't really build an image. But hey-ho, we go with what we get. So we're on the button here. The cut-off is just called the 300. We've looked down at 9, 10. I make it 1,500. The big blind and the cut-off both call. So we're going to the flop 3 ways here. Flop comes down king, queen, 3. It checks to me, and I bet £1,500. The turn actually brings another king. It goes check, check, and the river brings the jack. Now this is where things get a little bit interesting. So our mega rec tries to bet 6k, but it's a little bit stringy, as you can see, so it only counts as 1k.
Oh dear.
We have a little bit of a chat, and I'm not really sure what to do here because I'm not sure how strong his hand is. I think he's probably got a queen. Obviously we've rivered the straight, we want to get max value, but how much is he really going to call? So as he was trying to bet 6, I decide to just bet 6, knowing that he's definitely going to throw it in. Perhaps this is a mistake, perhaps I should have made it a little bit bigger. I guess I didn't want to scare him off because I didn't think his hand was too strong. We never actually get to see what his hand is. He does obviously just flick in the 5k to make the call. And of course we win the pot. So nice. I'm not sure exactly what he had. I think he probably just had a queen. Maybe we could have got a little bit more out of him. Who knows? But it's always nice to pick up another nice size pot.
Well, you might have king jack or something.
This next hand is actually nothing to do with me, but it is got one of the lads from my local club involved. He's gone all in on a board of 6, 7, 9. I already know he's got aces. He does get called off by jack 9 off, so top pair. Of course, this guy doesn't know how he plays as well as I do. The turn brings another ace. There is a jack of hearts. I know we're bringing 4 hearts in, but luckily for my boy, nobody has a heart, and he does bring it home with a massive... I think it was actually a treble.
He's made the vlog.
Easy. On to the next one here then, and funnily enough, we look down at ace, king off again. I think are these the same suits? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, middle position, we're playing 200, 400. Under the gun plus 2 makes it 1,200. I make it 3.5, and he calls. The flop is 2 diamonds, queen, pants, pants. He checks. I bet 2,200, and he calls. The turn is another absolute pony card. He checks, and I bet 5,500, and he calls again. Now, of course, what I should do here, no matter what the river comes, is just shut this down. The river is another absolute pants card. He checks to me, and I decide to bet 22,000 chips. And we get a little bit of Hollywood, and of course he just jams all in. So we obviously just snap fold. Just an absolute awful bluff. He probably flopped the set. Yeah, I'm just very angry with myself. This was a massive mistake, and I worked hard to build up the stack, and then I just away most of my profits for the day so far. On to the next one. First break, made it about like 20k off a 50k starting stack. You've seen all the hands really, but there was two I didn't record because my phone was getting low and I need to charge it. I won a little one and I lost a little one. But the big one was obviously that big bluff with the ace king, and it was just such an awful bluff, man. I was so angry at myself. It was such a stupid bluff. I didn't even believe myself. Anyway, 20 odd k, we're going back to 500,000 after the break, which is got another 15 minutes left. Yeah, so let's hope for a bit of run good now. I'm in a lot of pain from this trapped nerve in my shoulder, which is not helping. But I chose to be here, so let's make the most of it. Right, guys, back from the break here. As you can see, our stack is dwindled. And stuff, I suppose. We're in the big blind, and we've got 10 jack off that we defended with. It's against Katie Swift, who's a Grosvenor Poker Pro, if any of you know. So, really nice. We got involved in a couple of hands. Now, I can't remember exactly what the board was, but I wanted to include this hand because it's relevant for what comes next. So, all I know is I've got top pair, and on the flop, Katie, in essence, puts me all in. I believe there's two of the same suit on this board, and it is somewhat connected from a straighty perspective, and she did raise pre-flop. I think about this for quite a long time. I actually end up using a time bank, which is the first ever time I've used one. And I just don't know what to do here. Like, so I've got top pair, decent kicker. It's a very connected board. Flush draws, straight draws. She raised pre-flop, and she's just slapped it straight in to the middle. Maybe I should have just thrown the chips in here, especially with my stack depth. But that's kind of how it felt. Like, that's what she expected me to do. That's what she wanted me to do. So in the end, I do actually decide on folding, and thinking that there may well be a better spot. Who knows? Kate's more than capable of bluffing, so this may well have been a mistake. I might have been ahead of my stack depth. Perhaps I should just throw the chips in. Let me know what you think in the comments here. I say there was a lot of two-pair combos out there, sets, straight draws and flush draws, so combo draws, over pairs. Lots going on. Who knows? Maybe it was wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments. Should I just smashed it in there with top pair decent?
Yes,
kicker?
thanks. Yeah, cheers. You know, I'm going to just let you go.
Straight on to the next one then, and again we are up against Katie again. This time we look down at Jack, Queen of Clubs. We raise as her big blinds. I think we raised like 3,100. And she does end up defending from the big blind after a little bit of thought. The flop comes down King 10-4 with two hearts. So we've flopped the open ender. Obviously, shame there's not a couple of clubs out there, but just can't have all of it.
You just want to be on the vlog.
She checks, and I just jam straight away. Of course, good flop for my hand. You know, she could have been defended with middle suited connectors, 6, 7, 8, that kind of thing, and just have to fold to this bet. She obviously snap calls because she's got king jack off. The turn brings an additional king, which doesn't change too much. Then there's no help on the river, and that ends bullet 1. GGKE, well played. Okay, so that was the end of bullet 1. Didn't really get anything going, as you could see. Now, I had two options. I was either going to re-enter into this flight, or the next flight, and the final flight actually starts in 21 minutes. So rather than having a re-enter into the initial flight, being a bit shorter stacked, but chill for 20 minutes, come in fresh, 50k starting stack, back at 100, 200 blinds. Forget what happened, let's go again and hope to run a bit better in the second one. So we're going to go again in about 20 minutes, so there's more hands to be seen. So stick about. If you haven't already, just give us a little like and subscribe. Maybe drop me a comment, especially if you've got any views on any of the hands so far. Particularly interested in the one against Katie where I had the top pair, the 10, and I ended up folding it. Should I have two overs in a straight draw? Don't know. Katie, if you're in the comments, let me know. Right guys, so we look down at ace king off again. It's literally the only premium hand we've seen so far today, and we've not actually hit with it yet, so we're 50-50 with it. We've got one bluff through with it, and we value owned ourselves with it the second time. Let's see how this one goes. So it folds to me, playing 200, 400, I make it 1200, the cutoff makes it 3100, the big blind calls, and I simply just 4-bet to 20k, and they do both fold. The cutoff had ace queen, and I assume the big blind had some sort of small pocket. So it's just nice to have a little pickup. So not particularly exciting, but one worth sharing. You know, tournament poker, it's all about winning these sorts of hands. Okay, next one, guys. So we look down here at pocket tens. We're on the button. There's 4 limpers at 200, 400 blinds, and the hijack makes it 2k, and the cutoff calls. So I think this is a really simple squeeze spot with a really strong hand. So I make it 9500. And it does actually fold around, so we take it down for a nice little pickup. Again, similar to the last hand, really. It's always nice to pick up these sorts of pots without, you know, seeing flop, seeing overcards, getting into trouble. And yeah, we take it down. So there's like 6 or 7k in the pot here, so it's just, yeah, really, really nice pickup at the 200, 400 blind level.
That's a nice pickup, then.
Ah, the massive hand again. So on to the next one, guys. You thought my bluff was bad earlier. Wait till you see this one. So we've got pocket sixes. We're playing 300, 600, and I've made it 1500. We get one caller. The flop's all hearts, queen, 10, 9. Not ideal for my hand, but we see bet 1200 with the range advantage, and he does call. The turns are 5, which shouldn't make any difference. So if I was ahead on the flop, I'm still ahead. So I bet 3300. And again, he does put in the call. Obviously, we know I'm miles behind now, and the river doesn't help at all. It's a big fat king. For some reason, I decided to blast off and bet another 8,000 into this pot, and he just snap calls again. And he has queen 10, so it's a pretty cool flop for his mediocre hand. That's another really bad bluff. Saying that, I could have easily just flopped the flush. People here can't really lay down 2 pair, even with a 4-liner to a straight out there as well. So problem is, as you've seen, not making any hands. I've hit 1 straight all day, which was in that messed up pot, obviously, where the guy misclicked the river by string betting. So it's been a really frustrating day. Been caught bluffing a couple of times.
Sixes.
Be nice if I could go on a little run moving forward and pick up a few easier hands.
Wow, good flop.
Right, guys, we've got a real one. We've looked down at pocket kings here. We're under the gun, and we decide to limp. I know, give me pelters in the comments. It's absolutely fine. I can take it. Sometimes I like to mix it up. Raises limps with these strong hands. Anyway, it's happened now. There's about 17 players going to this flop now because of it, and it comes down queen 8-4 with 2 diamonds. I bet it, the button calls, and the small blind does come along as well. We go to a turn card, which is a deuce. So again, no real concerns here. I lead out again after the small blind checks. I think we bet 4.5k here, 5.5k. The button this time does decide to put his cards into the muck, but the small blind comes along for another call, so I'm pretty concerned about what he might have here now. However, the river comes down a 6 of hearts, I believe. It goes check, check. We obviously turn over our kings. He has jack 4 of diamonds, so he had bottom pair on the flop and turned the flush draw. So this hand probably worked out quite nicely, and we do chip up again. Nothing much to talk about in this next one, guys. We've got ace queen of hearts in middle position. There's an early position raise to 2.5k with a big blind at 1.2. There's 2 callers as well, so there's a little bit of dead money in there, so I just jam to take it down, or hopefully, you know, flip with a worse hand with the additional value in the pot. Everyone does end up folding, and we just take it down. And again, just a nice little chip up, building our stack to hopefully win a big one. Right, guys, for no reason whatsoever, we're now in the streets. We look down at 10, 7 of hearts in middle position. I decide to raise up to 2,700 with the big blind still at 1,200. don't try this at home. I get 5 callers. The flop, 2 diamonds, ace, 7, 3, and I bet 2,200. I get 1 caller, the big blind. The turn is a 2 of diamonds. I 5.5k into it, and luckily he folds. So I'm assuming no one had an ace out there. Don't think I was getting anyone off that. But again, don't try this at home. Still, nice little chip up. I'll say tip the dealer on that shit.
3.2.
On to the next one here then, guys. We look down at ace, jack of hearts. We're playing 8, 1600. Under the gun +2 makes it 3,200. I decided to just flat here. Ace, jack of hearts is strong, but it can get you in a lot of trouble. The button flat, and then the big blind, who was somewhat short stacked, I believe it was 16k-ish, so about 10 big blinds. He jams. The initial raiser folds, and it's now on me. Now, this is an interesting spot. I'm assuming the big blind isn't particularly strong, as otherwise they would have probably raised themselves pre-flop. So I take a little bit of time to think about this one, and I decide to take the aggressive route, and I re-jam myself. Ideally, the big blind therefore folding, and I can just go heads up with this short stack with, again, the additional sort of 7 or 8k of dead money in the pot. That's exactly what happened. So the big blind ends up folding, and we are all in, heads up, against the initial all-in player. He has king queen, so it is somewhat of a flip, sort of 55, 45, 60, 40, whatever you want to call it. It's a very sweaty flop. It comes down 8, 9, deuce with all spades. The 10 of diamonds also brings in the jack for the straight, but luckily the river is the 6 of hearts brick. And we pick up a nice little pot here, and are chipping up nicely as we work our way through this level. Next break, guys. So we've got like 75k or something, so we've got about 30 bigs, 25 bigs when we go back, I think. It's the end of the re-entries after this one. Again, we've just folded for like 6 orbits straight. Got one just quick jam steal through right at the end there. So not much to report, not to show you from that bit, but we're still in, we're still grinding. I think there's some hands coming, I just got a feeling. So in lots of pain, very tired from the pain. My mate Robbo's still in as well. So yeah. Right, guys, we've been pretty card dead all day. We've made the most of some spots. Of course, we've done a few bad bluffs as well, but it happens. But we've finally got the moment we've been waiting for. It was the end of late reg, so last late reggers came in with their sort of 20 big blinds, and we look down at pocket aces. There's a raise and a call. I decide to make it big. I bet 25k, which is half of the guy to my right stack, as he just max late reg with his 50k. The guy opposite me eventually folds. Quite a good player actually, so fair play to him. I think he told me later on that he folded 9s. The guy to my right, who looks like a bit of a gambler, sticks in a call for half of his stack, which is obviously great news. The flop comes down, beautiful. It comes down queen, 6, deuce. So, you know, all the king, queens, jack, queens, ace, queens think they're ahead here. So it's a really, really good flop. He does check. I obviously just jam. And he snaps off his remaining 25k. And he, of course, has pocket 2s. Now, if you've been watching the channel, you've probably seen I'm not running particularly well with pocket aces over the last 6 months or so. There is 2 spades on the board, and the turn does bring an additional spade for the additional spade. Any ace, any spade? No, it's the 4 of clubs. We lose a biggie. Right, we're a little bit tilted, I'm not going to lie. We're in a lot of pain. We've played all day, very, very tilted. We've got 8-10 off middle position, and we decide to smack in our 8 big blinds or whatever it is. We get called, of course, by pocket kings. Why wouldn't he have pocket kings here? What a life. Anyway, we've still got hope. We've got 2 live cards, and the flop comes down. Deuce, 9, queen. We've got the gut shot and a dream. 5 of diamonds doesn't help us. But there it is, the jack of clubs. We're still alive, guys. We are still alive. We've nailed the straight on the river. Where's that run good been all bloody day? Anyway, we win this tiny, whiny little pot to keep us alive. And then very quickly after, we have queen 5 of spades. Now this one might seem a bit odd, but we were targeting a specific big blind. He was very, very tight. It just so happened I was always in middle position, and unfortunately the guy to my immediate left woke up with ace jack of clubs and just snapped it off. Absolutely no help on the board, not a single spade in sight. He nails his ace on the flop, and that's the end of us. That's all she wrote, folks. Obviously I had like 11 big blinds. I was targeting a specific big blind player. Just the only problem was there was 5 big players between me and him. But queen 5 of spades, 11 bigs, targeted the right big blind. I thought this is fine, as long as no one wakes up one, pick up the blinds. And of course the guy immediately to my left wakes up, ace jack of clubs, and instantly flops me pretty much fucking dead. So obviously the ace of hand killed me. Oh, just struggle in it. Tournament poker's a struggle. Didn't do everything right. Did I do everything right today? Probably not. Did I have many spots? No. Other than that last hand, I had, well, other than the 8-10 where I got really lucky in the river straight, I did not have more than a 1 pair holding all day. You can see every hand of any significance you've just watched. So what do you do? And a few of those are bluffs. Like, what you? Yeah, it's tough. Meant to be back next weekend for the main event, which is a £1,500 buy-in. It's the biggest buy-in I've ever done. Not gonna lie, I'm not really feeling it right now. Yeah. See you soon. What is this little dot? What is it? Can you see that? Weird. It's coming off my screen. What? What?